And so now we pivot to the MCU, and we won't be talking about the MCU for the entire show. There was a big trailer that came out, obviously, in the past week. Actually, the last day we were recording the episode. But let's talk about Hawkeye. So this morning, again, I was prepping the podcast notes and I was thinking, is there really that much to talk about? I'm not entirely sure. And then I go on Instagram, I go on Twitter, and boom, there it is. Hawkeye has its first official image. It is two people, those two people being Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop and Clint Barton, just standing there. But still, it's an official image, and it's good to see that. And more importantly, we have a release date for Hawkeye, November 24th, 2021. Now, in the next segment, which will follow very shortly after this one, we will talk about what this means for the Phase 4 slate in terms of especially Miss Marvel. But I just want to talk about Hawkeye just for a second. So, again, spoilers ahead for Black Widow, especially the post-credit scene, if you haven't seen that already. But the post-credit scene very clearly teases Yelena Belova coming in and probably antagonizing Hawkeye for one episode, two episodes, maybe all of the episodes. I don't even know how long the episodes are going to be, honestly. Sorry, not how long the episodes are going to be. We don't know that either. But rather how many episodes there are going to be. Are there going to be 6, 8, 9? It remains to be seen. I suspect it's going to be 6, and I suspect that Miss Marvel is going to go back to the 8 or 9 that WandaVision had. That, again, just remains to be seen. But Hawkeye is a show that I've been mildly excited for. I am a Clint Barton Hawkeye apologist in terms of my MCU fandom. I know a lot of people don't really love Hawkeye, and that's totally fine. But I love him a lot as a side character. And I really think that while Avengers Age of Ultron is not my favorite MCU movie, I will defend the farm scene from just to the end of days, because I think that farm scene did wonders for the character of Hawkeye. You don't have that farm scene. You don't have the beginning of Endgame. You don't have the emotional resonance of Clint Barton in Endgame. You don't have this connection with the character that goes through the rest of the MCU. So I defend that part of Avengers Age of Ultron, again, just vehemently, because I think it's so important for this character. That being said, while I love Clint Barton, and while I love Jeremy Renner in the role, I also think he's pretty good, and in fact, basically only good, so far at least, in a side character role. And so that leads me to him leading his own series, and I'm going, okay, we'll see. Because again, I never really thought of Jeremy Renner as having that lead character kind of potential. He's always been the side character in most things that I've seen. I know he did a Bourne movie, I believe Bourne Legacy, where he was the main character, and I don't think that ended up very well for him. But again, I know he's done other great films where he's been the lead character, like Wind River with Elizabeth Olsen, for example. Just in terms of big blockbusters, things like Mission Impossible, things like the MCU, he's been more of a side character. And so to have him lead his own series, I was mildly excited because I love the character, but also wondering how much I would care about a Hawkeye series. Well, fast forward to now, 2021, we've gotten series with Wanda Maximoff, we've gotten series with Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes, and obviously with Loki, and also with a movie with Black Widow. All of which, to varying degrees, I really enjoyed. And I thought that all of the characters really stepped into their own as front and center characters, with the exception of maybe the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I still sort of think of Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes as sort of B-tier characters. But anyways, all that aside. So going into this series, now with the release date in November, I am more excited than ever to really be experiencing this series. I also think, though, that with the addition of Kate Bishop, who we got some details on, I'll talk about her in a second, this might be it for Clint Barton. With Natasha Romanoff being phased out of the MCU now, you only have Thor, Hulk, and Hawkeye, and all of those guys, by the way, are getting replacements. In fact, you have replacements for all of the Avengers now. You have Peter Parker, and even Ironheart, Riri Williams. In terms of Iron Man, you have Sam Wilson and even Bucky Barnes in terms of Steve Rogers, and even John Walker in a sense. You obviously have Lady Thor, or the Mighty Thor, whatever they're going to call her for Thor. You have She-Hulk and Red Hulk coming up. You have Yelena Belova for Natasha, and now you have Kate Bishop for Clint Barton. So, I will see where the show goes. But I, again, would not be that surprised to see this be it for Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton. Just sort of a passing of the torch because, again, like I've said, I think Phase 4 really functions more as a soft reboot of the MCU rather than a continuation. I think that's totally fine. But I do think that, I wouldn't be that surprised. Now, we did get some more details other than the release date of November 24th. And with this official new image, we are going to be getting more marketing. It's about 5 months away as of right now. And that really is when the marketing is going to kick up. So expect a teaser trailer within the next month, I believe. Expect more images, more promo, all that sort of stuff. But in addition, we also got some more information from the Entertainment Weekly exclusive, specifically about Kate Bishop. And what Jeremy Renner had to say about Kate Bishop's character. Obviously, he had only nice things to say about Haley Steinfeld, who I think is a great pick for Kate Bishop. But he says that Kate Bishop, in fact, is a fangirl of Hawkeye and is being annoying and basically following Clint Barton around and obsessively, going after Clint Barton. Now, I have a couple thoughts about this. Because again, in concept and execution are two completely different things, right? Execution is everything in terms of how well they are able to pull this stuff off. But the concept is one that we've seen before and we will see again. Obviously, for example, we're going to see it actually in the next 2 shows, not including What If, with Miss Marvel. Because Miss Marvel, obviously, is a huge Captain Marvel fan. And you see it in films like The Incredibles, where Syndrome or, what's his name, Superboy or... I'm going to completely anger all of the Incrediboy. Sorry, Incrediboy. I got it. I was gonna completely anger all of the Incredibles fans, and rightfully so. But Incrediboy, and Syndrome, you see like this idea of the fanboy going rogue, or the fanboy, trying to live up to that character and trying to live up, and even Peter Parker, who was a fan of Iron Man, trying to live up to his shadow and all that sort of stuff. So it's been a concept that's been explored before. And I worry a little bit, again, probably without good reason, but the fact that we're dealing with 2 shows now, the 2 next live action shows are going to be dealing with younger characters being fans of established Avengers, and that maybe being a little awkward. But again, that's the only trepidation I really have with the show so far. We're going to see Echo. We're also going to see Elena Belova again. Rumors, again, unfounded rumors, I think. But rumors say that Kingpin is going to make an appearance. We'll see about that. But I really, again, have my anticipation for Hawkeye has only gone up. And also, I have to say that, A+ for Marvel, for their marketing. Because every time I say, oh, I'm not so excited for a certain show or a certain movie, they release a trailer and I go, no, I'm in. 2 prime examples have been Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Shang-Chi. When those projects were announced, I was like, yeah, okay. I'm decently excited for them. But when those first trailers came out for those projects, I was just completely on board. I was so on board because I saw what their concept was, of course, but I also saw what their execution was going to be. And that just makes me so excited. So great news for Hawkeye. November 24th, we got a release date.